Hey everyone, and welcome back to the AnzenGuard Podcast. I'm Michael Reynolds. So glad you could join us for another deep dive.
I'm Laura Wilson.
And today we're going to be tackling a topic that's near and dear to my heart, or maybe a constant nagging worry: passwords.
It's definitely a relevant one
Yeah.
in our increasingly digital world.
That's for sure. And you know that feeling when you're trying to log into an account
Oh, yeah.
and you've gone through your usual rotation of birthdays and pet names and that one street you lived on as a kid, and nothing works.
Oh, absolutely.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not just annoying, it's a security nightmare.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's a recipe for weak passwords, and even worse, reusing the same password across multiple accounts, which is something
Don't even.
you should never do. But
Yeah.
that's where password managers come in and can really save the day.
Okay, so for anyone who's hearing password manager and imagining some complex techie thing, break it down for us. What is a password manager?
Yeah. So in the simplest terms, think of it as a super secure digital vault for all your passwords.
Okay.
It not only stores them, but it can generate those crazy, strong, unique passwords that make security experts do a happy dance.
So it's doing the heavy lifting for us, creating and remembering
Yes.
those Fort Knox level passwords.
Exactly. And the best part is when you need to log in somewhere, it automatically fills in your username and password for you.
Okay.
So it's like having a personal assistant for all your logins.
I love that. That's the dream.
Making your life so much easier and way more secure.
No more sticky notes with passwords scribbled on them.
Please, no more sticky notes.
But seriously, you mentioned security. How do these things actually keep our passwords safe?
Well, it all boils down to encryption.
Okay.
It's like translating your passwords into a secret code that only you can unlock.
Okay. We hear about encryption all the time.
What
What does it actually mean in this context?
Yeah, so imagine you're sending a super secret message, but you want to make sure only the intended recipient can read it, so you scramble the letters into a jumbled mess. Right? That's basically what encryption does with your passwords. It transforms them into this unreadable format that can only be deciphered with the right key.
So even if someone got their hands on this data, it would just look like gibberish without that key.
Precisely. And the gold standard for encryption that's used by most top-tier password managers is called AES 256.
Okay.
This is serious stuff. This is the same level of encryption used by governments and military organizations.
Wow, that's reassuring.
Yeah, it's never been broken.
But I've also heard whispers about other types of encryption. What's to do with those?
Yeah, you're right. There's also 128-bit AES encryption, which is still very strong. And then there's XChat20, which is a newer method
Okay.
that claims to be even more secure than AES 256. However, AES 256 has been around for much longer, and it's been rigorously tested, making it the tried and true champion for now.
So it's like the veteran of encryption.
Exactly.
Proven and reliable.
Yes.
But on top of encryption, there's this thing called a zero-knowledge policy.
Hmm.
Right? Sounds pretty intense.
It basically means that even the password manager company itself cannot see your passwords.
What?
They have absolutely zero knowledge of your master password or the encryption key.
So even if the company was hacked, our passwords would still be safe.
Exactly. It's like having a separate lock on your vault that only you have the key to.
Okay.
And some password managers take this a step further. For example, 1Password has a feature called a secret key,
Okay.
which adds another layer of protection by creating a super complex master key that is virtually impossible to crack.
So we're talking double lock Fort Knox level security here.
Yes, we are.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there are different types of password managers out there, right?
You are absolutely correct.
Not all vaults are created equal.
Not all vaults are created equal. We can broadly categorize them into 3 types: offline, online, and token-based.
Okay.
Each has its own pros and cons depending on your security needs and your lifestyle.
All right, let's dive into those different types. First up, offline password managers. What are they all about?
Yeah, so imagine a physical safe in your home where you store your valuables.
Okay.
That's basically what an offline password manager does. It keeps your passwords locally on your device, whether that's your computer or your phone.
So ultimate privacy.
Exactly.
Your passwords aren't floating around in the cloud somewhere.
Yeah, offline managers offer a very high level of security because your data is only accessible on your device. The downside, it can be a bit inconvenient if you're constantly switching between devices.
Got it. So what about online password managers? Those seem to be pretty popular these days.
They are, and for good reason. They offer the convenience of syncing your passwords across all your devices. So your phone, your tablet, laptop, you name it. Your passwords are stored on the provider servers, which means you can access them from anywhere with an internet connection.
So it's like having a digital key ring
Exactly.
that you can access from anywhere in the world.
Exactly. And don't worry, reputable online password managers use that same strong encryption and zero-knowledge policies that we talked about earlier.
Okay.
So your data is still heavily protected. Some even go the extra mile with features like two-factor authentication, password strength auditing, and even dark web monitoring.
Wow, that's a whole suite of security features.
It is.
Okay, so we've got offline and online, but what about this mysterious token-based password manager that sounds pretty high-tech?
It is. Token-based managers take a very unique approach. Instead of storing your passwords in a vault, they generate new unique passwords for you every time you log in.
Right.
This is done using a secret algorithm and a physical token like a USB device or a smart card.
So it's like a little password-generating gadget you carry around.
Exactly. And because the passwords are generated on the fly, there's no central database for hackers to target. So it's incredibly secure, especially for those super sensitive accounts.
But I'm guessing there are some trade-offs with this approach.
You're right. Token-based managers can be less user-friendly because you always need that physical token to log in. And they also don't usually offer the same range of features as online managers like password sharing or those fancy data breach alerts.
So it's like the super secure off-the-grid option
Yeah.
for those who need like the ultimate and protection.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But before we move on, can we talk about those built-in password managers that come with our browsers? Are those good enough?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
While browser password managers have gotten better over time, they still don't offer the same level of security and features as dedicated password manager apps.
They're okay for like less sensitive accounts,
I mean,
but for those crucial ones like banking, email, social media,
Yeah.
we need to step up our game.
exactly. A dedicated password manager gives you much more control over your security, and it offers a wider range of features to keep your digital life truly safe and organized.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already. We've talked about the password struggle. We all face the magic of encryption and zero-knowledge policies and the different types of password managers out there.
Yeah.
But we're just getting started. Stay tuned for part 2, where we dive even deeper into this amazing world of password managers and explore even more fascinating features and benefits. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
Welcome back to the AnzenGuard Podcast. So last time we talked about how password managers can create and store strong passwords for us, but I'm hearing they can do even more than that.
Oh, yeah.
What other cool stuff can these things do?
Well, think about it. You're working on a project with colleagues, or maybe you just want to share that streaming service login with family.
Right.
How do you do that securely?
Oh man, don't even get me started. I used to just text passwords
Oh.
or email them.
Oh.
Cringe. Definitely not my proudest moment when it comes to security.
Yeah. I think we've all been there at some point.
Yeah. But the thing is, sending passwords through text or email, it's like sending a postcard with your bank details on it. Anyone who intercepts it can see everything.
Yikes.
Hmm?
Okay, so how do password managers solve this whole sharing dilemma?
Well, password managers allow you to share passwords securely and with complete control.
Okay.
So instead of sending the actual password, you just grant access to a specific account through the password manager.
So it's like giving someone a key to a specific room in your house
Exactly.
rather than handing over the key to the entire house.
That's a great analogy.
I like that.
And you still have full control, so you can revoke access at any time, change the password, or even set different levels of access for different people.
So sharing Netflix with your in-laws just got a whole lot easier and safer.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about all those data breaches we hear about constantly? It seems like every other day another company's announcing that they've been hacked.
Yeah, it's definitely a legitimate concern. You never know when your information might be caught up in one of these breaches. And that's why a lot of password managers offer data breach alerts.
Okay.
They're constantly monitoring for breaches and comparing your saved logins against these leaked databases.
So if one of my passwords shows up in a breach, the password manager will let me know.
Exactly. You'll get a notification, usually through email or the app, letting you know which account was affected. And then you can quickly change the password before any damage is done. It's like having a personal security guard watching your back online.
That's awesome. So it's not just about storing passwords, it's about actively protecting them.
Absolutely. And some password managers even go further with dark web monitoring.
Okay, dark web monitoring.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into some serious spy stuff.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
Well, you know how there's like the regular internet that we all use?
Right.
And then there's this hidden part of the internet called the dark web.
Yeah, I've heard whispers.
Ah.
Not exactly a place you want to stumble upon accidentally.
Right. It's where a lot of cyber criminals buy, sell, and trade stolen data.
Okay.
So password managers with dark web monitoring capabilities, they scan these dark web marketplaces for your information. So things like your email address, your social security number, even login credentials.
So it's like having a digital detective constantly searching the dark corners of the internet
Exactly.
for any sign of your personal information being compromised.
If they find anything, you'll get an alert, giving you a chance to take action and protect yourself.
So we've got these password managers creating strong passwords, sharing them securely, alerting us to breaches, and even patrolling the dark web for us. It's like having a whole security team working behind the scenes.
It really is.
What about those of us who are, let's just say, password challenged? Is there any help for us?
Absolutely. Most password managers offer a feature called password strength auditing. Think of it as a checkup for your passwords.
So like a report card
Yeah.
for how good or bad our passwords are.
Exactly. It analyzes all your saved passwords and assesses their strength based on things like length complexity and whether you've reused them across different accounts. It'll flag any weak passwords and often even suggest stronger alternatives.
That's so helpful. I know I'm guilty of reusing passwords, especially for those accounts I don't use very often.
We've all been there. And speaking of making things easier, you know how we have to store other sensitive information securely, not just passwords?
Oh, yeah, totally. Credit card info, secure notes, copies of important documents. I've definitely been guilty of storing that stuff in less than ideal places.
I know, and password managers can help with that too. A lot of them allow you to store all kinds of sensitive information securely. It's like having a digital wallet and a safe deposit box all in one.
So no more writing credit card numbers on scraps of paper or trying to remember security questions about your first pet's name.
Exactly. And some password managers offer even more advanced features. Have you heard of virtual payment cards?
Virtual payment cards. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
They're like disposable credit card numbers that you can use for online shopping.
Okay.
They mask your real credit card number, adding an extra layer of protection against fraud.
Wow. So if a website gets hacked, they don't get access to my actual credit card information.
Precisely. And some password managers even offer emergency access features.
Wow.
So you can designate trusted contacts who can access your account in case something happens to you.
Okay. That's a really thoughtful feature, especially for things like medical information or financial accounts.
It's peace of mind knowing that your loved ones can access important information if they need to.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, and it's clear that password managers are way more than just simple password storage. They're like comprehensive digital life management tools.
You got it.
Yeah.
They can help us create strong passwords, share them securely, monitor for breaches, store sensitive information, and even give us peace of mind in case of emergencies.
Welcome back to the AnzenGuard Podcast. We've been deep diving into this world of password managers, and honestly, I'm feeling a lot more zen about my digital security now.
That's great to hear. It really is amazing how much these tools can do to both simplify our lives and protect us online.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling less overwhelmed by the whole password chaos. But I'm guessing some people are still on the fence about whether they really need a password manager.
Yeah, I can understand that hesitation, but you have to think about it. We live so much of our lives online these days, banking, shopping, connecting with friends and family, even managing our health records.
It's true. Our digital lives are practically like an extension of ourselves at this point.
Exactly. And all of that valuable information is protected by, you guessed it, passwords.
Passwords.
But trying to manage all of those passwords manually, it's like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle.
Okay, that's a visual I won't soon forget.
It's just asking for trouble.
But seriously, you're making a really strong case here for why we need to step up our password game.
Yeah, and password managers are the key. They take that burden off our shoulders, creating those strong passwords, storing them securely, even alerting us to potential threats.
It's like having a digital guardian angel looking out for our online well-being. So if someone is listening to this right now and they're thinking, okay, I'm convinced I need a password manager, where do I even start? What advice would you give them?
First, take a deep breath.
Okay.
It's not as daunting as it might seem. There are tons of great password managers out there, many of which offer free trials.
Okay.
So that's a great way to kind of test the waters and see which one really fits your needs and your budget.
Try before you buy, always a smart move.
Absolutely. And once you've chosen your password manager champion, Setting it up is pretty straightforward. You'll create a strong master password. This is the one password you do need to remember.
Got it.
And then you can start importing your existing passwords from your browser or other sources.
So no need to manually enter every single password.
No, and for all your new accounts, definitely use that password generator that comes with the manager.
Okay.
It'll create those super strong, unique passwords that security experts dream of.
Got it. So find the right password manager, create a strong master password, import existing passwords, and use the generator for new ones. Sounds easy enough.
It is that easy.
Awesome. Well, folks, there you have it. We've explored the world of password managers, from the basics of encryption to more advanced features like secure sharing breach alerts and even dark web monitoring.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey.
And hopefully it's inspired you to take your online security to the next level.
Because in today's digital world, protecting our passwords is more important than ever.
Absolutely. A huge thank you to Laura Wilson for being our expert guide on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on the AnzenGuard Podcast. I'm Michael Reynolds.
And I'm Laura Wilson.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode with your friends and family. Let's spread the word about the importance of password security.
And until next time, stay safe out there in the digital world.